I insisted in staying at my parents'. My fiancé walked in on my mom with another man, thought she was cheating. He didn't know they have a non-traditional marriage. Now he thinks I set him up to push that lifestyle and wants to call off the wedding. We've been together for 6 years. We've known each other for another 3 years before that, so 9 years total. We're getting married in February. Or we were, I don't know anymore. We're visiting my parents to meet some more of my extended family so they get to know him before the wedding. My parents offer to host us, and we've been staying in my old room. I'm 29, and he's 32. We are staying with my parents. My fiancé wanted to stay at a hotel, but I thought it will be fun to sleep in my old room. And to be here with my mom and dad one last time under their roof before I become a married woman. My parents have been in a non-conventional marriage for a long time. It was a shock for me to learn about it, and I learned to cope with it. I am not necessarily comfortable with their lifestyles, but I can't do anything about it. They basically go on dates with other people, spend time with other people, sleep with other people. Had to learn it when I came home a few days earlier from a trip with a friend's family, and my father was sleeping next to another woman. I was 16. I freaked out then, and my parents had to explain to me it was all fine. My fiancé could not sleep last night and went outside for some fresh air because he is not used to sleep away from our bed back home. And he found my mom kissing another guy in my parents' foyer. He freaked out, started yelling at her, came and woke me up, demanded I call my father and tell him he found my mom cheating on him. My mom had to explain to my fiancé about my parents' non-conventional marriage, but it didn't go well with him. And once it seemed like he is calming down and starts to accept what my mom was telling him, he figured out I knew about their marriage, and he started freaking out on me. He told me that he can't trust me anymore, that he was set up, that I insisted we stay with our parents so that I can ease him in the idea, so I can enforce my parents' principles on our own marriage, and I simply can't get through to him. My fiancé has been cheated on before, his parents have divorced because his mom cheated on his dad, and he doesn't have a good relationship with her. He could barely stomach the idea of having her come to our wedding. He went to a hotel for tonight and said he will be leaving back home tomorrow. He's not really answering his phone or texting back. He says he needs to reevaluate our engagement, that he doesn't think he can marry me knowing I approve my parents' marriage style, that I wanted to manipulate him and introduce this lifestyle in our relationship. The truth is I am ashamed of my parents and their relationships, and I had no idea they will behave like this while my fiancé is around, let alone sleeping in their house. He simply doesn't believe me because I haven't talked about it since I've met him. It's not something I find easy to talk about, and the less I think about it, the better. How can I talk with him? I have no interest in my parents' style of relationship. I am fully dedicated to my fiancé, and I have never been interested in another person since I've met him. I don't want to lose him over this stupid thing, and I feel ashamed he had to find out about my parents like this. I'd have preferred he never knew. Please, if anyone has any ideas, I am interested in any suggestions. Edit number 1. He has met my parents several times. We are here to meet my extended family. We live in a different state. He's met some of them, but not all, and we wanted them to have an idea who my fiancé is, not to see him for the first time at the wedding. We've lived in our own state, where his family is, while my parents and the rest of my family are in the state we are currently visiting. I never planned to let him know about my parents unless it became a conversation item. It was never something I had to share or felt the need to do so. I don't really like thinking about it. Thank you. Best comments. OP answer a couple of questions and provide more detail. You let him learn about that in the worst possible way. I am not excusing his behavior, but I get his reaction. You insisted on staying in their house, and you knew his past trauma. You seem to not be understanding at all that you should not have hidden it, and wanting him to never know is the wrong idea to begin with, and what got you this mess? Stop hiding shit like this and share it in a way that makes it clear you don't approve. I would have at least expected my parents to be able to control themselves, at least for the few days we were supposed to be here, but I guess that was too much to wish for. I didn't necessarily hide this from him, but it never came about. And I am so uncomfortable talking about it. It was never something I even though mentioning. He doesn't talk about his mom that much. I learned what I did about her, and how his parents' marriage ended from his sister. And honestly, I thought it would be nice to sleep in my old room and be there one last time before I get married. There were no malicious intentions here. Honestly, you and your family couldn't have handled this worse. This is something you bring up before he meets them, especially with his issues. I mean, he is your fiancé. When were you planning on telling him? He is thinking the apple didn't fall far from the tree here, and it is hard to fault him given your insistence on staying there and not getting a heads up beforehand. You gotta let him know, with no effing hedging or omissions, that you 100% do not want a lifestyle like this. Be direct, be honest, and be prepared for him to resent the shit out of your parents for a while. My parents prioritize their pleasure over the health of their family. This is a realization I made as an adult. I never told them, don't do what you are doing, but I will also not approve or validate their lifestyle. My fiancé was faced with what looked like my mother cheating, and I guess he had a panic attack. I understand where he is coming from, but I am a little freaked out because he doesn't believe me or trust me. We never had trust issues, so this is not a good situation. We will meet later today, and hopefully we will figure things out. I am moving out by the end of the day to spend the night at my aunt, and after that I will most likely return home with my fiancé tomorrow. He didn't believe you because you did not apparently trust him enough to talk about this for 6 years. A fiancé/husband is exactly the kind of person you talk to about stuff that makes you uncomfortable. Staying with your parents with him in the dark about this situation is quite frankly one of the dumbest things I have ever read on here. It boggles the mind. Of course, he doesn't trust you right now. I wouldn't either. Your parents are bad parents, no matter what their other interests are. They are not good role models, and they seem to not care about anybody's feelings but their own. Your mother chose to F that guy and didn't care that you and your fiancé were there. She's a bad mother. This alone is something you should have told your fiancé about. Update number 1. I've already talked with him, and I am staying in the hotel room with him tonight, since it's already paid for and it will be fun. Tomorrow we will move to my grandma's house until the end of the week. We came here to meet the extended family, and that's what we will do. My parents have finally found it within themselves to apologize, but it no longer matters. For what it's worth, I didn't blame the situation on my parents when we met earlier. Aside from what my parents do in their spare time, I never had a secret from him. He knows I know about his mom, and I told him that if he ever wants to talk about her, I am here to listen, and I understand why he avoids talking about her. He also apologized for his outburst and reaction, but he was honest and told me he doesn't think he will be that close to my parents in general. And I am fine with that since I don't have that close of a relationship with them anyway. I've told him how much he hurt me, saying he needs to reevaluate our engagement, and he acknowledges he wasn't thinking when he spoke those words, and also said he regrets them so much he was afraid he damaged our relationship. He didn't damage it, but I told him if I could predict the future, flowers are what I'd see. So that's it pretty much. Update number 2. One day after the last update. I'm still reading through the comments because this thread has become way bigger than I expected. My parents did apologize, but they justify themselves by saying it was a planned night, which I find ridiculous, as they have invited us to stay with them over a month ago. I refuse to think they planned their little indiscretion since more than a month ago. Bottom line is, they knew we would be there, they invited us, and they didn't care. The idea of not inviting them to the wedding started floating through my mind yesterday while reading the thread, but I am not sure what I will end up doing. They are my parents, they are my responsibility. My fiancé got to see them for who they are and how they are for himself. He now knows why I don't really talk about them. Aside from our little bump in the relationship the other night, we should be fine. We actually ordered 2 books from Amazon, at the recommendation of other Redditors, with all kind of relationship tests and lessons. And we will maybe even go to therapy as a couple. This is not yet set in stone, we'll see. Thank you for the kind words.